body cam footage from the attempted assassination on Donald Trump has revealed the tension between the Secret Service and police in the moments after the shooting. In newly released footage, officers can be heard claiming to have warned Secret Service about the shooter, raising more questions about those tasked with keeping the Republican presidential nominee safe.
It's just gone 6 p.m. in Butler, Pennsylvania, Saturday the 13th of July. A few minutes before a former president was an inch from assassination. The dash cam is from a police car on patrol the moment the gunman is spotted.
Someone's on the roof.
In the distance, you can see the rally marked by the flag and the building from where a man would try to kill Donald Trump. From another angle, an officer on foot. From his body camera, you can see Thomas Crooks on the roof of the building.
And you know, that's a little bit...
It's 8 minutes past 6. Donald Trump is 3 minutes into his campaign speech. He and the crowd unaware that a gunman has already been spotted. Another body cam and another glimpse of the moments before the shots were fired. The footage is mute. It's 10 past the hour, 1 minute before the former president would be shot. An officer tries to get onto the roof. The camera angle doesn't show it, but he sees Crooks, who points his gun at him. The officer drops back down. Another angle, a dash cam. It's 11 minutes past, and the shots are fired. The images from the rally are familiar to us all, but beyond here, we now have the police view of this extraordinary moment. Trying to access the roof, unsure at this point if the gunman is alive or if he's alone.
He's got glasses, long hair. Need a ladder.
By 6:14, Crooks is already dead, shot by the Secret Service from another angle. But these officers can't be sure.
If you're not law enforcement, go!
I think they got him.
I do too, but we haven't confirmed it.
I seen his head fall. Shoot her down.
Whether he's down or whether he's in custody, yeah.
At 17 minutes past 6, the officers are on the roof where Thomas Crooks lies dead. The chatter is an insight into the confusion.
I thought someone was up there. I put my head up here. If he was up there, I'd be toast.
Are we on the same frequency? I thought you guys were on the roof.
All I heard were shots.
All of this footage will form a key part of the investigation into the failures. Relief for the officers here, but the Secret Service has admitted that the attempt on Donald Trump's life was a Secret Service failure. Mark Stone, Sky News in Washington.
Joining me live from Chattanooga is Zach Wamp, politician and former congressman. Good afternoon to you, Zach. Thank you so much for joining us. Extraordinary vision there, and the inquiry does continue. What is the reaction that you're hearing from the US?
Well, I know a lot of security professionals that have given commentary on this. And I mean, frankly, they treated the Secret Service, President Trump, more like a former president. They all have Secret Service protection, but he was not George Bush or a president who was still not engaged and certainly running for president. So the perimeter should have been much farther out. Local law enforcement should have been better prepared from the Secret Service perspective. The perimeter should have been much more broad than it was. No one should have ever been able to get within 300 yards of the president like that. So there's a lot of failures across the board, but I think Secret Service mainly should have treated him more like the current president in terms of their protection and not a former president, because he's still very much out there campaigning. And they've done this so many times, it's obvious they got a little lackadaisical about doing it over and over again. And we're really fortunate that it just hit his ear, because that could have been really, really, really bad had the assassin succeeded.
All right, let's turn to the election, Zach, and we know there's about 3 months to go. We've got Donald Trump, Kamala Harris agreeing on the debate on September 10. You know Donald Trump quite well. How do you think he will play out, and what do you think both parties need to do in order to win?
Well, President Trump needs to focus on the issues, because as I said 2 weeks ago on this show, the issues favor him. The issues that voters care about are immigration, inflation, crime, gender. They all favor him. But unfortunately, he keeps talking about other things like Governor Kemp in Georgia and what race Kamala Harris is, because nobody cares about any of that. They care about the issues I just talked about. So the only way I think Trump loses is if he can't control his message himself. if he gets distracted, and I think he's been a little bit on his heels since Biden was no longer his opponent, because he was planning on running against Biden. He knew exactly what to do. Biden, leaves the stage. Kamala comes, and the things that stuck to Biden don't really stick to her. And now the media is kind of helping repackage her as if she's not a progressive and not a real liberal. And so she's somewhat on a honeymoon all the way through their convention here week after next. She's on a honeymoon. So she's getting all the positive attention and nobody's really holding her account. I think after Labor Day, when this race really kicks in, you'll see Donald Trump in a superior position all the way through the election. But I believe now it can be close. I actually thought a month ago, when Biden failed so badly in the debate, that Trump was going to win in a coast-to-coast landslide. I think now this race is going to be very close, but I think he's still favored. And this debate is going to be important because the first debate caused the president to exit stage left. And so these debates are important this year.